Hey guys, here in a nutshell with me, Ina. I've been waiting so long to have this episode, an episode with a nurse. Okay? Pero alam nyo, hindi ordinary nurse ang ating kakausapin. Alam nyo po, naging Dean of Nursing siya ng isang university sa Pilipinas. Akalain nyo. Tapos, she moved to Canada. Started out with, survival jobs kung tawagin until she practiced nursing. At hindi pa rin doon natapos ang kanyang kwento ha. Right now, she operates a travel nurse agency. Papasok na po siya. Ang ating bisita, kakwentuhan for this episode is Marie Cabrera. Hello, Marie. Hi, ma'am. Pero Marie na lang dala sa Canada po tayo. I would love to call you ma'am. Lagi akong sinisita dito eh.
Kasi nung una, huwag mo akong tawagin. So, very conscious po sila sa mama at sir dito. Salamat din for having me here in your very informative at amazing vlog. So, marami pong natututunan at maraming nai-inspire po sa vlog.
Nako, maraming salamat po. Okay. O sige, nako sabi ko nga sa inyo ma'am, Marie, ang tagal ko na talagang gusto maka-interview, makakwentuhan ng isang nurse, Filipino nurse here in Canada. At grabe, sabi ko nga doon sa intro, no, you're not just an ordinary nurse. When you left the Philippines.
Wala pong iba.
Grabe, Dean of Nursing sa University of Baguio, si Marie. How long were you Dean of Nursing before you decided to move to Canada po?
So I've been like a dean for almost 5 years before I moved out to come here. Decided to.
Okay.
So, ganun po. Yung story po. Bago po ako napunta dito, so I was at St. Mary's University, if you know, the sister school of St. Louis University. So I started from there. They sent me for my master's, and then later on, after I finished my master, they offered me to become a dean. But I said to the president, I know my capabilities, and if you want me to be more capable, you have to send me to pursue my PhD. So, and I would like it to be in the University of the Philippines. So, good enough, sinend po ako at nag-pursue po doon. And then, after a while, merong invitation naman ang University of Baguio. Hinahikayat po ako na maging dean. So, hindi agad-agad po ako nakalabas po sa St. In gratitude of sa St. Mary's po na ang dami pong mga opportunities po na binigay sa akin. And eventually, nag-move out po kami. Pumunta na po kami, the whole family sa Baguio. At tinanggap ko po yung pagka-dean po doon.
Okay. Oh, grabe Narinig niyo yun She had a master's degree, took PhD, and then ayun po, Dean of Nursing sa University of Baguio. Did you like being Dean of Nursing?
Oh, yes. It was not an easy thing to do beforehand because I was only, I think, 35 years old. The first time that they offered to me to be a dean I was 29 years old, and then when I accepted the deanship in the University of Baguio, I was, I think, 35. I was kind of, new to the responsibility because if I'm not mistaken, I can still remember I was handling 7,000 from first year to fourth year, and then I was also handling about more or less 200 faculty members. Very, challenging role.
Indeed, a big responsibility. Okay, sige, let's get right to it, ma'am. So why did you leave that, that high-profile job to move to Canada and start from the bottom again, start from scratch rather in Canada?
Ganito kasi, so yung mga faculty members ko, nagpupuntahan sa office, sabi, magpapasign ng clearance. Kasi bago sila maka-resign, they have to come to my office at nagpapaalam. Sabi ko, saan ba kayo pupunta? Parang I counted, if I'm not mistaken, 36 of them was like resigning. Not at the same time though, but a little by little. So nakikita ko na yung trend. Bakit umaalis sila? Sabi ko, so nag-nosy na ako, nagtanong na ako, saan ba kayo pupunta? And then sabi nila, Ma, we're going to Canada. Bakit kayo po? Wala kayong balak. So,
ano ba? Okay.
So, nung natanong yun sa akin, sabi ko, why not nga naman? And that is actually one of the reasons why I moved out from the province going to the city, because I have more access to apply. So sabi ko nga naman. So I tried without even like any plan, no, anong mangyayari, saan kami pupunta, parang ganon. Just, you know,
Exploring lang, kumbaga.
accidental or probably explore lang the possibility of it. So I tried, and fortunately, within 9 months, na approve po kami ng the whole family to come over. So,
Oh, okay. But ma'am, the fact that you considered moving out of the Philippines, were there issues back home with your previous job that made you also want to seek better opportunities abroad?
so far, not. There's no perfect organization. Of course, there are loopholes, and it's part of the challenges as you work. But then again, if you come to think of it, after realizing there was no problem, the only thing there was my mom really dreamed me to come over, not here actually in Canada, but to go to the United States, because
Oo.
her two sisters, two sisters na nurses in America, they're wanting me to go. So, na-delay kasi na I was so focused studying. And up to the time na na-reach ko na yung point na, oh, it's, I think about time. Then they asked me even, oh, are you not coming with us sa Canada? Sabi pa ng mga faculty members ko. So I said, oh, why not? So I tried. Kaya andito. So, hindi ko i-deny po na mahirap po yung naging function ko po as a dean, kasi nga po yung sinabi ko yung number of yung mga responsibilities ko, 7,000 students for a year lang yun, matindi po talaga.
I see. Okay. Of course, when you move to Canada, hindi na po kayo mag-dean dito. Although, it came to a point na nagturo din po kayo. You ended up teaching at some point, no, here in Canada. But hindi po agad napunta dun si Marie. Okay, tell us about your journey to Canada. Nabanggit mo sa akin, ano, you started out with survival jobs. You know, that was obviously a big change coming from being, you know, sort of a boss back home.
Itong ma-share ko na to, pwede pong pagkuhanan ng aral po ng mga iba po, na if you are willing, and it doesn't matter whether you go down to the previous level that you've been occupying or the position that you were occupying before, it doesn't matter. If you're ready to embrace and assimilate and integrate to a new territory, to a new place, it doesn't matter, for as long as your heart and your soul is willing to survive. It's true. I went to different survival jobs. Like I started as a home support worker, where I have to cook, I have to wash the dishes, everything. And before I was able to get the right route to become a nurse, it was not an easy way to become a nurse then. That was in 2014. We arrived here 2011, the latter part of the year, and that was like November 2011. So I just started finding the right route the first part of the year of 2012, where I started submitting all my documents to IQAS. If you know IQAS, it's based in Edmonton. It's international assessment. So I submitted, and then I started doing my bridging program. I was required to do a few subjects, particularly zeroing into the culture, how to become a nurse in Manitoba.
So basically, you went through the entire process, you know, a bridging program para maging nurse po kayo dito, assessments of your whatever credentials you had. How did you feel, you know, going through all that, considering your background? You had a master's degree, a PhD. Again, you were, you know, managing so many people na related din po dito sa pag-aaralan yung muli dito sa Canada. What was your mindset back then?
Before, I was just very open to any changes or any, because I'm invading a new territory. It's not my territory anymore, and it's a humbling experience actually to start from scratch, to start from zero. But then again, my heart, my mind, and my soul was open to change, open to anything, to adhere to to the rules, regulations, and guidance of this new territory.
Opo, okay. And then, so naging bedside nurse si Maria, no? How many years or how long were you a bedside nurse until you ended up with the other things that you did, like teaching at university? Can you tell us, paano naman po kayo napunta sa teaching dito sa Canada rin po?
So when I got my license in 2013, so I was so ambitious enough. I'm sorry to use the word. I bought my house already in 2014, and
Oh,
then
wow. Okay.
I know. Don't follow. So I bought my house at the same time because it's really a basic need to have your own car as well too. So, and without knowing that I have a son who's about to, go for the university, and going to the university is not free here. So I have to land for another job. I have to find another job. And it so happened that I was directed to the academic world, which I was used to be, right? And it's really my passion to be as an instructor, something like that, to teach, to help students to become successful nurses. So luckily, I was absorbed to become a clinical education facilitator. So when I was doing both, like bedside nurse, my employer was really very good. They fixed my schedule in order to accommodate my schedule as a clinical instructor. So when I was bringing my students in one of the facilities, I don't know what they saw in me, so they offered the position to become a manager. And I said to them, I think I am not qualified for this because I'm not ready to, manage diverse groups. Sabi ko ganyan. So until they waited for me for 4 months, kasi I go back to bring my students.
Okay, ma'am, just to be, this is in the university,
No, kasi this is another position that they offered to me. I was teaching, I was at the bedside, plus I was teaching. And then when I was teaching, I bring my students to like different places like hospital, long-term care. So doon sa mga sa long-term care na isa, sabi, parang pwede ba naming i-offer sa'yo na maging manager ka? Pwede ka ba?
Oh, okay. Iba na naman palang nag-offer sa'yo ng trabaho. Wow.
Opo. Sabi ko, parang hindi. Give me more time to think about it. Sabi ko ganyan. So, they waited for me for 4 months until such time I gave up and I tried. And so, I tried for a year, sabi ko. And then, parang I was trying to escape again. I went back to my original employer as a bedside nurse. So they accepted me back and gave me a permanent full-time position. So I stayed there. Habang naggaganon ako, nagbe-bedside and then nagtuturo, tapos meron na namang nag-offer to become a manager. Ano ba? Sabi ko,
Aba, ang swerte nyo naman, no? Kayo ang nilalapitan ng mga tao dito.
Hindi ko alam. Parang tinatakbuhan ko nga po talaga. Sabi ko nga naman, sige, pagbigyan. Kasi parang may incentive po. So sabi ko, kailangan ko kasi papag-aralin ko yung anak ko sa university. So parang talagang magdo-double kahit po ako dito. Sabi ko ngayon. Although maliit nga lang po ang difference. Pero at least may padagdag lang. Sa expenses, tsaka sa pagpapaaral ng anak ko. So, grinab ko po yun. And then one time, I don't know kung accepted ng followers mo yung sasabihin ko na I did my self-reflection and I was trying to communicate to our mighty Father na, Ginoon, bakit bigyan mo na lang po ako? Bakit laging tinatakbuhan ko tapos ino-offer? Parang ganun na lagi yung cycle. Bigyan mo kaya ako ng isang trabaho na I will be performing as a manager or I'll be a leader at the same time. I will not compromise my skills as a nurse. I'll still be working as a nurse, sabi ko. Until I was directed to a route to organize my own agency.
Ito, your own company. Tell us about your travel nurse agency.
Ito po ay isang maliit lang po as compared sa mga existing na mga agencies po na nauna-una po sa akin. So initially, ako lang muna. Parang ako yung nagpipick up sa own agency ko.
Oh.
Different places ng Manitoba. Then eventually, word by mouth, na-spread out. Tapos nag-hire na po ako ng mga nurses, ng mga healthcare aides po at na pwedeng ma-deploy sa different parts ng Manitoba.
Oh, wow. How did you get your clients, ma'am, for this agency that you built? Paano yung naging networking niyo po?
Simple po lang, yung mga friends ko, nag-start po kami, na-spread out sa friends ko, and then yung mga friends ko naman, they distribute yung mga business cards, tapos by mouth na lang po na ini-advertise in the market. Tapos I also hire my employees na they do the marketing, the advertisements. It's just a small agency for now because ayoko munang maging masyadong full-blown kasi baka hindi ko makayanan kasi mag-isa lang po ako ngayon na.
I see. Did you let go of the other jobs? Yung instructor po, are you still teaching or no more na?
Teaching po. I
okay.
Do that one because that's really my passion. My world, it's not complete. I think I'm not complete if I'm not like, but being a manager na forgo na po.
Yan, okay. Pati yung, wala, no more bedside nurse, no more manager, so teaching and your agency.
And I still practice my nursing profession every
time. Okay. You yourself pala, talagang nag-work ka din in your agency basically, no? Opo. Okay. So I'm sure, ma'am, sabi mo nga, you also hire some, nurses, healthcare workers. You have a lot of experience. You have built relationships with a lot of health workers. I'm sure mga kababayan din po natin. What is it, do you think, why are so many Filipino nurses hanggang ngayon po talaga, parang alisan po lagi sila ng Pilipinas. Not just in Canada, no? The US, alam ko nga, mas malaki pa daw ang mga kita daw po ng mga nurse natin po doon. And bakit ba hindi manatili yung mga nurse po natin sa Pilipinas?
Okay, this is just my point of view. With my personal experience and personal observation when I was still in the Philippines. Actually, when I was a dean, I observed that we're producing 200,000 yearly nurses.
Okay.
And there was like vast, like a lot of, we are producing many supply of nurses, but we don't have employment. So, ang mga nurses, so to regain back to get back or regain back their expenses, because to finish nursing before in 2007 to 2011 is like more than $1 million.
Oh, mahal din pala, grabe
It depends where you study. It depends on where you study, whether you study in the city or because you have to include your lodging, your fare, your many other things, other expenses. It depends on the school as well too. So, sabi ko, mga nurses, siyempre, they want to get back and regain those expenses, and in gratitude of their parents, they want to, of course, ibalik yung mga expenses. So, they find ways. So, what they do is they go to different hospitals and they will do voluntary work, and then they will pay. They will be the one. Those volunteer nurses will be the one to pay the hospital or the school or whatever they want to gain their experiences before they can be qualified to go to the United States, to the different countries. So you can't blame them really. I'm not blaming our country, former country of origin. We can't also blame them totally. Kasi nga naman, ang dami namin sinusupply, sometimes meron pa sigurong mga diploma meron na something.
Pero grabe, no? Oo, grabe po yung kinakwento nyo, no? Yung mga nurses pa natin sa Pilipinas, nagbabayad sa mga ospital para bigyan sila ng experience that will qualify them, for an application abroad. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes.
Grabe nga naman. And also, if you talk about, yung nurses natin, there's number one problem, may oversupply, kumbaga.
Mm-hmm.
And even if they do end up finding a job in a hospital, hindi rin talaga maiwasan na ikumpara po kasi yung earnings nila to their counterparts abroad. Kahit pa sabihin nating way cheaper ang cost of living po sa Pilipinas. What can you say about that? Talaga po bang malayo pa ang, malayo pa po ba ang estado ng mga nurses po natin kumpara sa mga colleagues po nila in other countries, not just in Canada?
Point of
based on your observations and personal experience,
Talaga pong buhado po. ang mga nurses natin in terms of sa remuneration po. Hindi equated yung services na pinaprovide, yung sacrifices po nila na hindi po talaga sapat na nababayaran po yung mga services talaga doon. Eh sabi ang doon, ang mentality, kung parehas lang din ang trabaho, di mag-a-abroad na lang po ako. Doon at po, mababayaran po ako ng gusto at of course, makakatulong pa ako sa family ko. Parang ganun po. So, hindi mo po sila mabablame.
Oh, kaya nga eh. I don't think anybody's blaming them, to be honest naman, di ba? Kaya nga eh. So how has your life been here naman, ma'am? Can you give us a brief comparison? Okay, buhay mo as Dean of Nursing and your entire journey here in Canada. Has it been worth it, leaving that job behind?
Okay lang naman po dito. In fairness po sa Pilipinas, maganda rin po doon. Ganda po yung weather natin doon. Tapos maraming yung food in terms of sa food. Siyempre, marami kang pagpipilian. Pero, bottom line po, siyempre, nasa first world country, hindi ko naman ina-underestimate po ang ating country na third world po. Pero dito po tayo, mas marami pong supply, maraming resources. So, parang marami kang pagpipilian, marami kang options na to make your life quality. Like, I know, subsub tayo sa work. Yes, totoo yan. But it's up to us how you manage, we balance ourselves. At marami po tayong mga options na pwede nating i-balance yung buhay natin na na-offer po ng Canada po. But I'll just give like take-out friendly reminders to those who are planning to come over or the newcomers here, especially zero into our nurses. First is expect the worst. Ang ibig kong sabihin, the expect the worst po is when you come here in Canada, it's not bed of roses. Marami pong challenges along the way. Dapat willing ka or ready ka na you go down back to zero po na you gonna perform, gonna learn to survive different kinds of jobs na talagang survival jobs na maging home support worker, dishwasher, cleaner, everything. So, dapat po ready ka sa mga ganong situation or else talaga very demoralizing po talaga. Pero laging isa sa isip nyo, sa likod ng mind nyo, anyways, hindi sa una lang ito, sa umpisa lang ito, kamatay na magbabago din po. Basta meron po tayong, meron laging favorite kong formula po is yung perseverance plus hard work equals success. So, yung perseverance is yung persistence natin na let's just continue, and then pag hard work naman yung endurance natin na let's continue moving, igniting ourselves, burning the fire until we be able to reach our goals. Ang isa po doon is kaya ba natin ding harapin yung communication barrier.
Yeah.
Kasi alam po natin na dito sa Canada, composed of various groups, different nationalities. So may barrier. Pero primarily, dalawa po ang lingwahe natin na ino-observe, French at saka English, and more so sa English. Ito po lang po ma-advise ko po sa inyo. Dahil sa Pilipinas, our medium instruction was English, right? And we're so conscious on how to, observe the correct grammar. I am actually, I can relate to that because my mom was an English professor in one of the universities. So, talaga i-correct niya po yung English ko. Pero when you come here, don't be conscious on how you communicate. Don't be conscious with the grammar because English already is a day-to-day language. Communication. So, kung masyadong nai-impede yung brain cells mo to release the words that you want to communicate, wag. Just continue. Kasi they don't mind.
Yeah,
they don't mind. And your grammar, the wrong grammar thing will not define you as a person to become successful here in Canada.
Yeah.
Output base, your performance is more important than for as long as, pero hindi ko din naman sinasabi siya na we should not observe the correct grammar, but yung nag-i-stop ko sa iyo ng success mo. Wag niyo pong isipin.
Yeah, in short, huwag kayo masyadong conscious. It's okay. Performance still outweighs how you speak. Lalo na sa mga Filipino nurses dito, di ba, Marie? I think our reputation, yung mga Filipino nurses talaga, walang makakatalo, di ba?
Opo.
Oo, kaya wag na kayo mag-alala kung medyo off ang inyong English. Masasapawan naman yun ng inyong good performance. For sure. So sana po may natutunan, na-inspire sa ating mga kababayan, especially those who are, just thinking about or thinking of pursuing being a nurse here in Canada. Yeah, so maraming salamat, Marie, for sharing your story.
Salamat din sa iyo, Ina. At sana patuloy mong i-pursue ito kasi marami kang natutulungan. Kasi maraming ways on how we help other people.
Yeah.
Not our material things, but just giving them enough information, the concern that you're allotting your time to help them. It's a factor na. Kaya just continue what you're doing, Ina.
Thank you. Nako, I will try my best. Thank you so much, Marie. Okay, so we will end this episode here. We'll see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.
Bye.